Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, or the red Zerg, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, on who you believe will make it through to the grand finals. Remember, Hero, he is waiting for the winner of the series in this finals. Will it be a PvP or PvZ? Personally, I do lean towards Classic here in this series, but it would be nice to have a little bit of a different kind of series, a different dynamic, a different matchup. A more diverse matchup in the finals would be nice. I hope to see that, but we'll see. As coming into Persephone, if you recall, we did speak on this map earlier when we casted Rogue versus Cure, about how macro-oriented this map can be, how the game can slow down, you can cut the map in half and you can take more bases. That is very much so applicable here to this matchup, and we often do see a lot longer and later games here on Persephone as a result. Rogue, we'll see how he does play things out. There is a style that he's very fond of where he goes into a Evo Chamber +1 range, he stays on a 3-base setup, goes into Hydras, takes his 4 gases, gets a 4th base, and then goes up into Lurker Tech. So he goes Hydra, rushes into Lurker Tech, and then he goes into Lurker, slows the game down, and then we force a long late game. The problem though is that Classic, you can make an argument, I say argument, you can say with confidence that Classic has the best late game PvZ in the world. Better than Hero, better than Max. Like, you do not get better at late game than Classic when it comes to PvZ. So I don't know if you want to go to the late game against Classic, or I would say you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. So we'll see how Rogue does adjust. We'll see how he does approach Classic. Classic does open up Stargate, standard opener. Again, we don't really expect anything crazy out of Classic. We do expect Stargate into a 3rd base, into +1 and Blink, into a standard mid game. Nice catch on the probe. Rogue does expand. He does expand. Attempt to get across the map. So far, Rogue is keeping up. Again, Classic behind this should be expanding. Pylons are being thrown down to eventually throw down our tech. And Rogue does pull out a gas. When it comes to Rogue's tech setup, we're looking for the timing of the Evo Chamber, the timing of the lair, and whether or not he gets a Roach War. So there are a couple of tech structures to look out for from the side of Zerg. Faster Evo Chamber is indicative of +1 melee. Faster lair, indicative, of course, of taking up faster as well. Not uncommon to skip Roaches to go Link Bane Hydra. Let's see. As the Oracles are amassing, Twilight Council's on the way. That is an early Twilight Council, by the way. Yeah, early Twilight Council, no Forge. This is looking more like Labor Depths. So we have an aggressive build here from Classic. Gets one drone so far. Gets 2, gets 3. The Spores are not ready. Yeah, Spores are not ready. Queen's out of position. 3 drones do go down. And we should be seeing extra gateways here. Ooh, late Forge. Late Forge. Higher chances is going to be Blink and not Glaives. But early nonetheless. There it is, so early Blink. Now, what this means here is that a Classic, because Blink is going to be finishing up earlier than normal, he can go for an earlier Blink timing and try to break the 4th base. Not the 3rd, but the 4th. As the 4th should soon be on the way. There it is, on the right-hand side. And we'll see if Classic can shut it down. The downside is, of course, his forge is delayed, so +1 is going to be later. His upgrade is going to be later than usual. So he's dancing around the edge of creep. Rogue looks like he's skipping his Roach Warren. What do we see? Eva Chamber first. Eva Chamber most likely into melee. There is on the way. This is looking more and more like Ling Hydra. Oh, we have +1 range on the way. We do have our tech structure. We are going Ling Hydra, but range tells us a little bit more as to what's going to be happening here. With range upgrades, this does mean that you can actually start working towards lurkers. As we're going to be devoting less into mass Ling. Speaking of Lings, they're getting called out. We'll see how heavily Rogue drones up his 4th base. We'll see if he throws down that infestation pit. So here we're looking for the pit. We're looking for signs of a longer game. Rogue, he's cutting workers at 66. He is not droning up his 4th base yet. We spoke about hitting the 4th, and Classic, he wants the expansion. Again, with that early blink, he wants the hatchery. And one more volley. Oh, do we have a transfuse? Oh no, no transfuse. The base goes down, but it's going to cost Classic everything. Was this worth it? Ooh, that is 7 Stalkers. 7 Stalkers do go down. Again, if you recall, we spoke about that early blink timing. Does hit the 4th base, does kill it, but now that does trigger a massive counterattack. And Rogue is going into a Spire. After killing so many Stalkers, that does make sense. Going for the Spire. Okay. Lings, they dive on in. Stage Trap does go off. Saves Eye Templar. Storm is ready. First Storm does land. And first Storm lands. Lings, they don't really get much done. They don't get the Stalker. But Hydras, they're pushing in. Going for the 4th base. Man, he has to get out of here. Yeah, Rogue, he has to pull out. We'll bleed out Hydras. Expensive losses here for Rogue. Are quite expensive. But what's important here is that Rogue is at least... these are expensive losses. He's keeping Classic busy while he takes up into Mutas. But that was an expensive distraction. As Rogue doesn't really have that much gas sparing also left over. Classic is pushing. Rogue is double expanding, trying to get his 4th base up and running. Again, that late 4th means late economy, late saturation. Classic has a superior economy. He's pushing in towards the 5th. He's got a couple of storms left. Doesn't want to waste them. We come in from behind. Yeah, 1 Eye Templar left. Lands 1 storm. There's 1 left. That's it, the final storm. Final storm does land. Stalkers, they're pushing in. We have Ling reinforcements, and with that, Rogue holds. He does hold on. Even catching the High Templar. Classic still rallying across the map. He still wants that expansion. Oh. Doesn't get it. Rogue is holding. Rogue is holding on. The Spire is done. He's getting +1 air attack. +1 fire attack. And Classic, we're getting into Sky Toss. Oh boy. If you recall, at the very start of this game, we spoke about how Classic, or start of the series, spoke about how Classic has the best late game PvZ in the world. He's getting there. Again, if he can get away with it, he will just take up. If he sees an opportunity, he will just take up. Get into Sky Toss. And the Sky Toss is coming. Rogue, now he starts his mutas. Yo, we got the Starlots. Without Ling support, without Banelings here, these Chargels, they can have their way with this army. Charge is done. Yeah, charge that's complete. That's going to be the death of a lot of Hydras. And Hydras are vulnerable. Tell me 20... Jesus, 29 Hydras going down. Trading against some Stalkers at least. That's been a lot of dead Hydras. Carrier production has begun. There's a lot of riding on these mutas. Let's go. Army is revealed. Mutas, can we actually snipe the High Templar? Oh. Mutas get spotted. Going for the dive. He gets one. He gets one. He gets two. He gets up to three. Yeah, 3, 4 High Templar go down. There, 5 High Templar. Very nice snipes. And he denies the storms. And suddenly, Rogue, he can pop off. There's still a couple of Templar remaining. Mutas get thrown away, but they were worth it. Yeah, they were so worth it here. And now, where's the splash damage? It's non-existent. No shield batteries? Oh, greedy. Yeah, no shield batteries either. Classic, he needs a storm. Another Templar goes down. He's down to 2. 2 Templar left. The base will fall. At the same time, Classic getting into the main. Nice Zella run by. Oh! As Classic overextends. Please out a carrier. Storms are now coming in. And very nice controller by Rogue. He does jump forward, takes down the Templar. Messy fight for Classic, and Rogue, it looks like he is doing it. Yeah, with the Ling reinforcements, he breaks through the main army, takes down all the Stalkers. And the MVPs of this game were the mutas. Honestly, if it wasn't for those mutas, then the game would have gone on, and Classic would have gotten away with his Sky Toss. But the mutas, they sniped 5 High Templar. It was insane. And Rogue steps in, takes down the expansion. He denies the late game of Classic. Does deny it. And Classic, he doesn't really have much left to work with. He's down to 1 carrier. 1 carrier left. The carriers, they do nothing. Classic storming what he can. GG gets caught in. Classic has nothing left to defend. He is broken. And Rogue takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth. Classic had his own moments, so did Rogue. As we spoke about, the highlight moment of that game was when Rogue went into those mutas, and when he was able to catch 5 High Templar in the center of the map. He didn't just kill 5 High Templar, but he even forced storms out of the remaining Templar as well. So there were just no storms left over for the main army, for the Hydras, which allowed the Ling Hydra to overwhelm, to break through, and to break not just the 3rd, but also the 4th expansion as well. GG. GG, well played. And again, it's so crucial as well that he was able to do so before Sky Toss, before the mass carrier Sky Toss army really got going. And now we're getting into game number 2. And we'll see if Rogue can close it out here and now, or if Classic can force the ace match. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, representing Protoss Pro, down in the series. Can he force the ace match, or is he down and out here and now? It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg, representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Rogue. I see what you did there, Stan. I see what you did there. Aye. SMH my head. So now we do have our initial openers, nothing crazy. Opening up Hatch Gas Pool. And welcome on to Incorporeal. Incorporeal is also, I would say, a larger map in the map pool. The bases are much more spread out on Incorporeal as well. Once again, if Classic can, I'm sure he wants to be able to embrace that late game. We'll see if he can get there. We'll keep an eye on his build. As a reminder, last game, Classic did go for earlier Blink, which led into the earlier Stalker move out, which led into him killing the 4th base of Rogue, but again, it cost him 7 Stalkers, so there was, again, I'm still on the fence about whether or not that was even worth it. As he invested so much into killing that 4th. So we'll see if he goes for another early Twilight Council, or if he goes for something a bit different. Based on the pylon placement, we're expecting Stargate play. Stargate is going to be thrown down. From here, just going to be opening up Oracle into a 3rd base, into a standard early game. Once again, our eyes are going to be on Rogue in regards to how he does open up. Last game, he went into his Evo Chamber, skipped his Roach Warren, went Ling Hydra, but he did go into +1 range, not melee, into a more Hydra-heavy composition, if you recall. We'll see if he does so again. From that shade. And it is going to be a Twilight Council before 3rd expansion. Okay. Got my attention. So, very early Twilight Council here at a Classic. Now, last game, he also had an early Twilight Council, but he threw down the Twilight Council just after he took his 3rd base. So, this is even earlier than that. So, we're leaning more towards Glaive Adepts. As you can see, we're even pulling out of gas. Does pull out of gas. Gateway Explosion behind this, getting into a 4 gate setup. 4 gate setup here out of Classic. And we're waiting for that take of choice. Meanwhile, early Evo Chamber here out of Rogue. Once again, this is earlier than last game, so we're expecting this to be melee. If this is +1 melee, then Rogue may just die here. There's reasons for that. Glaives are on the way, as we did mention. But if this is going to be melee, then, yep, there it is. Melee's on the way. There's a higher chance that we're going to be skipping Roaches, which means there's going to be a Ling-based opener, which means no Roaches and no Banelings to defend. It's going to be a tough hold for Rogue if he has no further attack. So this is a good way to punish a player that does decide to skip their Baneling Nest, or Roachborn as well. And that is happening. Oracle's at the main, they get a queen. One queen goes down, gets a drone as well. Nice pickups. That's another drone falls. It's 2 drones and a queen. Safety, Baneling Nest. Okay, big moment. Big moment here for Rogue. Rogue he now has access to Banelings. That will be a way to hold and to defend. But here come the Adepts. Got a lot of Adepts moving out. As Adepts move out, Lings, they do move in. 3rd base under fire. Going for the pylon even, but the Warping will complete. Warping does finish. This will supply block. Classic does get across the map. Lings, they try to engage. They're going to be shut down. The Baneling Nest isn't ready. Baneling Nest is barely not ready in time. Shades into the natural. Ooh, Lings are in position. Lings are in position, but they're still being shut down by the Adepts. I say that, down to 5. Down to 4. Down to 3. Shades into the main base, gets some economic damage. But Rogue, he should hold on. He should be able to hold on. I mean, sniping the pylon meant there were no reinforcements, but there were delayed reinforcements. As he's at Epstate, getting a little bit out of hand. Getting more economic damage. 7 drone kills. 7 drones going down. More adepts are coming. Classic is not stopping. It's not stopping. Stasis into the main base. More adepts towards the 3rd. Adepts are still at the natural. The adepts, they just keep coming. They just keep coming. they don't stop. And there were never any Banelings. The Baneling has finished, but we never watched any Banelings. And with that, GG gets called. Classic does overwhelm with the non-stop adepts. And Classic ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Initially, Rogue, he was holding his own. And again, the goal, in my mind, was to buy time for the Banelings to morph in some Banelings. But he never had the opportunity to morph in any Banelings. Classic just did not stop with the adepts. He just kept warping in, kept pushing out. And eventually, he broke the back of Rogue. GG. GG, well played. Did break his back, and now we're going all the way to the ace match. Going to the ace match. Game 3 is going to be on Maganatha. Okay. One of the larger maps in the map pool. Now, after what happened in Game 2, again, mind games come into play. Does Rogue decide to play Roach this time to be safe? Or does he throw caution to the wind? Does he believe that, hey, Classic, he just went Glaive Adepts in Game 2. He's not going to do it again in Game 3. Let's cut corners again. Let's even have more confidence cutting corners, because there's no shot he does the same build 2 games in a row. That's what he does it. That's no. All the mind games. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Go. Whew, as it all ends here, it all ends on Maganatha, one way or the other. The largest map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. True, all true. Can lead to longer games, but as we mentioned before, typically we expect Rogue to end the game earlier, which is what happened in Game 1. If you remember, Rogue, he was able to break Classic before Skytoss, before the late game. But at the same time, we have to respect Classic and scout what the follow-up is going to be and make sure that he's playing Standard. Because he's willing to be aggressive. Go. So now hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Rogue. Everything is looking normal. I'm gonna slow things down. We have our initial dance. Classic trying to force some inefficient mining. Oh, yeah, not bad. Does force a drone off the mineral line. Just the one time, though. Okay. Does disrupt the mining. Cheeky moves out of Classic. Does have some cheeky moves. Back at home, we do build up. Pylon gets thrown down. It looks like a Stargate opener out of Classic. Not opening up Twilight Council. Is that Stargate? Now, so far, both Game 1 and Game 2, Classic has been going for early Twilight Councils. If you remember, Game 1, he went for his third base and straight into a Twilight Council into early Blink. Game 2, he went for a Twilight Council before the third into early Glaives. What is it this time? We haven't gone for a charge base opener, true. Charge. We haven't gone for a standard opener either. Not yet. Finally play standard on Maganatha. So we spice things up once again. So moves out. Classic should soon be expanding. That is the position, and the probe should be moving down. So good. Classic does expand. Here comes the Nexus. Is going to be the earlier Evo Chamber out of Rogue. I believe this is a little bit later than we're used to. Meanwhile, there's going to be an earlier Twilight Council out of Classic. Now, so far, this follow-up that Classic is going for looks like what we saw in Game 1 with early Blink. I don't want to take Glaives off the table, but based on the history here, most likely earlier Blink, but could still be Glaive Adams. As Double Oracle does get across the map. Gets 2 drones, not bad. Gets 2 workers. Oh, regardless, this is aggressive, right? There's no Forge. There's no Forge, there's no +1. So show us the Glaives. Or Blink. There it is, Glaives. Glaive Adams are on the way. +1 melee here. Safety Baliness out of Rogue. Drone damage still being done, though. And a couple of things. Rogue, this time his production is not behind the mineral line. This time it is here to provide some SimCity to wall off in case adepts come in. Now, on the one hand, the Baliness is all well and good, but if you don't morph in Banelings, it doesn't matter. So I'm a little bit concerned. As here come the initial vanilla adepts. This is normal. This is standard. Catching out the Zerglings. Not bad. Zerglings go down. Adepts say shade in. Again, only 6 adepts. This shouldn't be ringing any bells. I need more than this, though, and then Rogue could be tipped off. As melee is still on the way, Baliness is complete. Here comes the main army. Here come the Glaive Adepts. And so far, I believe there is... Oh, there is a scout. Okay, he had this Onaga. Nice scout. Banelings are morphing in. Again, this time Rogue, he has time to react. He has time to react, to respond. Banelings are on the way. Which means he has the tools to defend. Essence of the Queens. Rogue, he pulls out of the third. Flush Transfusal, but 1 Queen still goes down. And 1 Queen goes down. Say shade towards the natural. Unforced recoil here. The Banelings. Oh, they crash in. Very nice catch. Half the adepts go down, and Rogue defends. This time, Rogue, he does defend. He defends well. Classic trying to take up. We have Blink on the way. Very late Forge. Very late upgrades. This was not worth it for Classic. Not yet. And Rogue has a stronger start. Stronger start. Railing speed has begun. Hydrogen on the way. Rogue is lacking drones. That's my one big concern here. Is that Rogue's got a lot of links and banelings and very few workers. Now, if he makes an extra wave of units here, then he is going for a 3-base all-in. Yep, there we go. 3-base all-in. Okay, so 3-base all-in. He is not saturating his 4th base whatsoever. This is just for Larva. Just for Larva. And now Classic knows. Classic, he shows up, and there's nothing to kill. He gets a Queen. He gets a hatchery. Stasis does go up. Very nice catch. Very nice catch here on the Banelings. Hatchery's going to go down. We have a lot of force fields. Remember, no Ravagers. Oh. A couple of Banelings reconnect. At the same time, Lings, they hit the third base. 22 probe kills, critical damage. Classic, he needs more than just the base. He has to keep going, as he will lose the third. Third base goes down. Classic, he should not stop. We need those force fields to be on point, though. And they are. Jesus, oh my god. They are on point. And once again, the Lingmain just cannot engage. Oh no, yeah, Miss Riley with the Oracle, so he throws him away. One Oracle barely survives. Queen goes down. A lot of Banelings get targeted as well. Classic trading very efficiently, but he's rallying into the army. Once again, a Miss Rally. Banelings, they try to crash in, but they fail to do so. As Lings, they get us around. They bait out one of the stasis traps. Classic, he pulls away. And the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Rogue. Rogue, he needs more time to stabilize, though, as he does not have a third. No third base yet. Again, Classic is heavily reliant on those force fields. So far, they've been solid. If he ever does slip up, though, then Banelings, they will make short work of his army. Specifically of these sentries and the adepts. Actually, I think Classic has done it. Look at how heavy the stalker count is. I think he's just done it. Yeah, Rogue, he cannot keep up. Not against this many stalkers. Ling Bane is not going to be enough. Yeah, another hatchery is going to go down. Ling Bane does collapse in. Force fields once again are on point. Banelings, they don't find connections. And they will take down, what is that, 3, 4, 5 sentries. But that's all they get. That's all they get. Classic, he breaks on through. GG gets caught in Classic. He will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Classic, he does come in as the favorite player, does claim the series, but a shout out to Rogue for making a series out of this. We saw that we didn't actually get into a longer game state. Classic was a lot more aggressive this series, attempted to get into a longer game earlier, if you recall, on Persephone, was denied it, and then just doubled down on the aggression. GG. GG, well played. Classic does claim it, and I was hoping that we could maybe avoid the mirror matchup finals. We couldn't avoid it, unfortunately. So we have another PvP. Let's go. It's going to be a PvP finals between our top 2 players of the tournament. Let's go. Let us go. As you can see here, we have our top 2. Hero took down Bjorn and took down Trigger to make it to the finals. Classic took down Big Gabe and took down Rogue. And we have our PvP finals between Hero and Classic. Let's go. Our grand finals are ahead of us. Grand finals are ahead of us here. Meanwhile, looks like we are cutting to a 10-minute break. Okay, understandable. It's been a long event. It's been a very long event so far. So we're going to be cutting to a 10-minute break. And when we come back, we will have the grand finals ready for you, that PvP. This is an all-in. Yes, it is. As we pointed out, because the third base went down, because he lost 22 probes? 22 probes at the third. He had to keep going. He was all-in. We were emphasizing the fact that because there were no Ravagers for the Zerg army, there was no answer to the force fields. That's why force fields were being so efficient, and so they're performing so well against the Lingbane army of Rogue. Do apologize if we didn't make that clear. We were trying to mention it. But yes, with that, we have our 2 finalists here. It is going to be Hero and Classic. For now, we're going to be going on that break. When we come back, we'll have our final series of the broadcast. See you soon. See you soon after the break.